Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of videos. Today I wanted to do another analysis of one of my recent classical games on chess.com. Obviously with the advantage being that I can use my squared off board. This was another game that I played. I did try to do a live game last night. Funny enough, I'm currently actually still working during this crisis, albeit I literally have to turn up to my work, sit there and do nothing. So I was on a night shift, and I thought to myself, well, maybe I'll do my live game now. Of course, what I didn't think about is actually I might be quite tired, and of course the game I played was absolutely atrocious. I don't want to even show it to you because there were so many blunders in it, and I just went, oh, do you know what? Let's not show this game. We'll show this game instead. It was a lot more interesting, a lot more better play from me. That's a little bit more interesting to analyse, I think personally, than just a blunderfest. Anyway, so the game started with G3. Now G3, again, a bit of an uncommon move. You don't see it too often. Apparently, it's called the Hungarian opening. Can't really say much about this move. Most of the time, these things, anyway, with G3, they tend to transpose into other openings. So things like King's Indian attack setups, so things like that, or you see mixed up with C4 and D4, and as I say, that will transpose into maybe a Catalan opening. Or just an English opening with C4. So I can't really say much about G3. It's an interesting move because it keeps black, I guess, guessing as to what setup white is going to play. I just played D5. I just thought I'd develop classically, to see what he wants to do. He played bishop to G2, played E5, and D3. So yeah, I think. This is, as I say, very, very similar almost to a modern defence, but with reverse colours. So quite interesting in that regard. Bishop G5 came, so hitting the knights. I break the pin with E7, knight to F3, knight to C6, and C4 was played. A very suspicious looking move, in my opinion. Why this move is sort of quite suspicious is this position is eerily similar to that of the Peer's defence, but with reverse colours. Let me just show you what that looks like. So after E4, G6, D4, G7, a few more moves like this, you'll know this is very similar, but obviously with now reverse colours. If C5 is played here now, white captures on C5, and normally Queen to A5 is played, and we have all these different ideas, little threats that that black is trying to spring on white. Thankfully, these threats are mostly harmless. White can survive this, but yeah, as I say, it was a little bit. When I looked at this, I thought, oh, this looks very familiar. It just looks like reverse colours. So when I went back to the position after C4, I was a bit like, well, I guess I'll capture here. And I was very shocked to see white, in fact, capture here. And I was absolutely just like blown away. I was like, oh, okay, well, that doesn't really work. Because now, after queen captures and the exchange of the queens, this white king can no longer castle. And yeah, I'm very happy with this continuation. I'll be looking to castle long and develop with a check. So absolutely happy with that. And I think I've got quite a good position now. I've definitely got an edge in this position. So the game continued. After he captured back, I went bishop to F5. And the knight to H4, a bit of an odd move, but it's a little bit annoying. I've got to do something with this bishop at some point. I first went to castle long with the check, and knight to D2. And this was a kind of critical point in the game. I spent quite a bit of time thinking here, because I kind of slightly lost my way here. My opponent has been playing very, very odd moves so far. So the first issue I've got is I've got a lot of pieces that are under attack. This bishop's under attack. This knight is also attacked, and this knight is also attacked. It's something I didn't even, I've kind of forgot that this is actually still hitting this knight, and I'm a little bit worried about this capture, this particular capture, just simply because when I capture back with the pawns, I have this horrible double pawn. If I just show you, let me just make a normal, a nothing move here. After this capture, I've got this horrible pawn structure, and that's right in front of my castled king. So I was a little bit worried about that. So how do I defend this knight, but also get this bishop out to back to out of danger basically from this knight? So in the end, I decided on the move bishop to e4, looking to try and exchange off these pair of bishops. What I should have played here was probably bishop to d7. I looked at this move, I considered it, but I didn't like the fact that it looked as though I was kind of losing a tempo here. But in actual fact, when you think about it, this knight coming over to h4 is also a loss of tempo. So really, it's not as bad as it looks. Going back, when I actually played the move e4, I thought to myself, oh no, I've made an absolute massive blunder. The reason why I thought that was simply because this knight is the only defender of this bishop. So I looked at the continuation, but thankfully I'm still doing okay in the continuation. So what I expected to see played was after bishop captures, I capture this bishop. He can capture this bishop, I capture this rook, he captures this rook, and there's loads of exchanges, but I'm doing okay here. I'm actually still probably slightly better. This we can argue this bishop's probably a little bit better, but it's really difficult to get this bishop out. Actually, it's a bit of a pain. Another move that knight can play here, knight to f5, is a little bit annoying. I've now hitting this pawn on g7. I haven't really looked at this continuation actually. It's a little bit more interesting than I thought. If I go back to e4, now can he take this pawn? He can, but bishop to g6. That is a cool looking move. So now this bishop is trapped and entombed in the position. He's going to play rook here. Can I get out of this? Let's see, pawn comes forward. Maybe he can't, so now that creates a little escape square. If I come forward again, bishop back, this knight is still trapped. Very interesting position. So, okay, that's a cool little continuation I didn't look at. But in any case, even after this, I think I'm still doing slightly better here, so I'm quite happy with this. Another move I could also play, after that, actually, what actually happened in the game. So he played f3, and I was very happy to see this move. This now blocks in this bishop off this diagonal. He can still come to this diagonal, which comes with a check, so it's not the end of the world, but very happy to see this move played against me. There's also a nice little hole here, potentially, for a knight to maybe jump in later in the game as well. I came back to g6. He swapped off. Very happy to see the swap off, because now this bishop check is no longer possible. So this bishop is really quite badly played. He's going to have to play a move like f4 to try and open it up. And again, I was surprised he wouldn't play a move like this just to get out the bishop. Now, the next move really shocked me. King to c2 really confused me. I guess the white king wanted to get out of the pin, but he now walked into another attack. I played knight to d4, king came back to d1, and then bishop to b4. A really nice strong move here, hitting this this knight and coming with a threat. He played the move a3, which is a big blunder, as now this allows me a very strong tactic to win a knight. I captured the knight, he captured with the bishop, and I captured with my, and I went to knight to b3. So now this bishop is going to be lost. Play king to c2, hitting the knight, and I'd looked at an interesting continuation with rook takes on d2. This is what I kind of had in my head. If he captures this knight, I take on e2. If the bishop came back to f1, I take a few pawns. I'm up 2 pawns, but it's not a piece. So, you know, I think perhaps if I wanted maybe a bit of a calmer position, I might have wanted to do this. But I thought my other way was a little bit more decisive. So, going back to the actual position, I took the knight. And funny enough, my heart sank a bit when I saw b3. I was thinking, oh God, have I missed a tactic here? Because now this knight's a little bit stuck over in this square. But thankfully, I found the next move. It's really the only move that wins totally is e4. Fantastic move. So this pawn will come into to e6. And save the day. If let's say let's have a continuation. If let's say does h4, let's say I can do e6. I'm doing absolutely beautifully here. This knight is beautifully anchored in the position. So I think totally winning here. Totally winning. Okay, going back to the game. So b3 was played, e4. There was a couple captures. Bishop f3 to try and defend this pawn. I did not. Rook to d2. His king came to c1. There's not a huge amount more to this game. I think I've got such a dominant position here. These 2 rooks are on the best squares, controlling this beautiful file. We did g4. Hopefully, maybe trying to create some tactics on this knight. I played knight to c3. Rook to c1, e1 to try and defend this pawn. Moved my other knights in, and then b4. And I've got ideas of coming in with these knights to start delivering some nasty mates. But first, I've got to play the move rook 8 to d4. In actual fact, that comes with another threat here of capturing on c4 with some potential discovery attacks. He moves c5, and there was actually a mate in 5 here after c4. There's some mate in a few moves. If I do that, bishop takes. This comes with a check. King to b1, and then yeah, it's going to be lights out very soon. You have to do rook to a1. There's actually a check here first, and that just wins. So there's the mate in 5. Instead, I played something else. After he did c4, I did knight to a2 check. This had the idea if he captures here, I take this and threaten this other rook along here. He moved the king across, which allowed me the beautiful finish, which was knight e to c3 with checkmate. A really nice checkmate that. So both knights delivering that mate. So a nice little fun game, a nice little checkmate at the end there. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope, as I say, to keep doing these every day. So stay tuned, keep watching, and I'll see you soon. Take care.